the wind. We were young, we were wild and free. Everything was black leather and ripped jeans. We were young, through the night, the kings and queens of rock and roll, dancing to the rhythm of our hearts, losing control. City lights set the world on fire. Guitar screaming, drums pounding higher. Those were the days, no worries, no regrets. Living life like there's no tomorrow, we won't forget. Oh, retro renaissance, take me back to where it all began. Oh, I long for those days when the music was loud, we were all young and brave. Retro renaissance, take me back to where it all began. Oh, I long for those days when the music was loud, we were all young and brave. Now the years have passed and the memories remain. Echoes of laughter, moments of pain. We're older, but the spirit's still alive. In the stories we tell, in the songs that survive. Oh, retro renaissance, take me back to where it all began. Oh, I long for those days when the music was loud, we were all young and brave.
We can't see.
I'm a professional.
Oh.
I'm in charge. We're kind of small. Should I make us bigger? I should make us bigger.
I don't know.
What do you mean, no?
Well, I said I don't know.
Who are you?
Who?
I think
are
she's
you?
Blake.
All right. What were we
Hi,
talking about?
KK.
I don't know.
Who-
I'm Blake.
KK's here. I'll just stretch it out like an old school window.
Kevin, did you even start it though?
Yeah, we're all started. We're live. We're literally on camera.
I was
The
just making
Yeti's
sure
working. The
because
camera's working.
It's usually behind the chat, and last time they came in way late in the game because you didn't.
Listen, we don't need to focus on what happened last time. We're living in the now.
Oh, okay.
Kevin may have made mistakes in the past, but
I thought
that's
your
not
name
who
was
he is
Blake.
now. Before we get started, we need to introduce everyone.
Yeah.
Blake.
Blake. Yeah.
Blake.
Blake. Hi.
This is Blake.
Blake.
My name is Blake.
Blake.
We're Blake.
Yeah.
We're all Blake.
We're all Blake.
Sometimes I go as Bree, but today I'm going as Blake. We'll leave chat to decipher what that means. Bree gets it.
Bree gets it.
So here's the thing, right? We're going to do a live stream about the Menendez Brothers, which was a twin brothers who killed their parents.
Oh, they're twins?
They're twins.
Oh.
Ooh.
I think,
That
right?
got...
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm going kind of in blind. Be honest, I was a child, so murder thing didn't really resonate with me. I'm like, let's watch cartoons. But we're going to talk about it. We may kind of deviate. Oh, how do you say your name? Rhiannon?
Rhiannon.
I'm going to say Rhiannon.
Rhiannon.
You can,
Yeah, I think
welcome
you're right.
to your first live.
Oh,
you are welcome
hi.
here.
Hey, hello.
So we are
Okay, they were just brothers.
You know what,
That's
Bree?
what I was
already
thinking.
with the whiteout and correcting me. I don't know if I appreciate that. Ethan!
No.
Don't kick out Bree. I'm just kidding. So we'll talk about it. Yes, we're going to go on tangents. We may derail. If that's not your thing, I totally get it. We are a community. We're a family. This is the Ren fam, so we're welcoming everybody into this group. Feel free to say what you want in chat.
As long as it's
Y'all
respectful.
three, well, it doesn't have. If it's about me, you can be disrespectful. I don't really care. About these other three Blakes, you need to be respectful. But I don't care. Point is, we may derail. If you're not into it, don't do it even.
Don't do anything.
What I'll start with is like kind of the backstory of where we're at so far with this trial. So there was a Netflix documentary.
Yeah.
And now people are questioning should they have actually been persecuted for what they did. Because now there's allegations of the parents being abusive. And they're like, well, maybe they had a right to do that.
I think it wasn't that they had a right. I think it's more that you can see how if you're like sexually, physically abused for decades, maybe you have a mental break, and that's just what happened. Not that they need not that it gives them an
Like a
excuse or a
justification,
reason.
yeah.
The Brotherhood of Blakes. Ashley! Ashley, welcome! Okay, so here's the overall of the case. You guys can butt in at any time. I know,
she was about to say something.
Yeah, I like to hear myself talk, and
Oh,
it
you
happens
weren't?
all the time.
I was, but I forgot.
Kevin will talk, so you have to talk over him.
Yeah.
So like when I'm hanging out with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do that a lot at work, where I'm blah, 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 and they're like, Kevin, like, stop. I'm like, but I sound so cool, right? I know I don't. That's not being egotistic. Okay.
You're not egotistic at all. You're just funny.
Yeah.
The crime happened on August 20th, 1989.
So I was 10.
I was
You were
4.
17.
You were 4?
I were 4!
Oh my
We were both
goodness.
4. Okay.
Yeah, Donald. Bree wants you to say something, Donald.
I'm 4.
Donald, why you not speaking?
I'm 4 years
Donald, why
old.
are you not speaking?
Huh?
He can only count to 4, Bree.
That's right. That's why I said I'm 4.
So these two wouldn't know anything about it. I wouldn't know anything about it.
But I will speculate.
Go ahead.
Well, yeah, that's
Speculate
what
away. Or are
this
you
whole
waiting?
thing is for.
I'm waiting for this story.
Have you
then I will
ever
speculate.
heard
But
of
you
it?
have the day
Right, I
that
wanna
happened. You got
hear-
nothing to say about that.
Bree wasn't alive.
I was 4. Yet.
Do you know anything about it, though?
No,
Have you heard about it?
no.
Have you?
No.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I've heard of the Menendez Brothers, but
This
I
is
had no
new
idea what it
news for
was
me.
or.
To be honest, I don't know much about it either.
I actually brought it up because I was curious, but then we're like, wait, this actually happened in the 80s.
89.
89, but they're just now doing all this
Oh,
stuff about
like
it.
recently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they've been in prison since 89, and now they're just saying, well,
Dang.
maybe they shouldn't be in jail.
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's what we're going to
Okay,
dive
give
into.
us the backstory so we can start talking.
So,
Hi, Araya.
our AI assistant named itself Julian Hale. So we'll call Julian moving forward, because that's
Okay.
what AI wants to call himself.
Okay, Julian.
So where did it happen? Beverly Hills, California. The victims, José Menendez, 45, a wealthy Cuban-American entertainment executive known for being strict, successful, and controlling. That's important.
Oh, that
He's
sounds
controlling.
like parent
Important.
issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know
doesn't
someone
give
who's
somebody-
controlling.
No,
Yeah, that
it
doesn't
does
give somebody
not.
the right to hurt
gives
another
you the right?
person or even murder them.
Would you
Murder,
kill
you
someone?
say. I wish I had a good Savannah
Donald,
accent.
would you kill someone who's controlling you?
No.
Would you kill someone for any reason? Is this a
That's
confession?
who I thought too.
Live on
have to
YouTube
say-
from Blake.
No.
Blake number 3.
King Julian.
But
That's what I thought of. Julian.
King Julian is
That's
our
funny.
AI assistant.
That's my cat's name.
Oh, yes, King Julian.
Wow.
King Julian.
Look, if it gets things wrong, it's our AI.
It's not our fault.
I know nothing.
It's AI's
Blake's, they might know something, but the other Blakes, maybe not.
fault. Okay. Let's go, Blake.
The other victim,
Yeah.
Kitty Menendez. First of all, she should be killed because her name's Kitty, right? We all agree?
What?
No? Am I the only one?
Oh, no!
All right. Sorry. I watched that 70s show.
Hey,
Kitty rocked.
she was awesome.
She was
because as long
awesome.
as she had wine,
Exactly.
everything was cool.
Cheers
with
to
her.
that.
And she was awkward
Cheers
and
to
hilarious.
And she
that.
had a
Cheers
hilarious
to that.
laugh.
Yeah, she really did. How did it go?
That's a good kitty laugh.
Something like that.
It's a little SpongeBob-y, but it's a good kitty laugh.
Hey, I always revert to the SpongeBob,
Do it.
right?
Yeah.
Do the SpongeBob.
Thank you, SpongeBob. Okay, Kitty. We're almost to the second victim. We're so far into this.
We're getting
Making
there.
good time.
Okay.
Kitty Menendez, 47, a former teacher and homemaker, reportedly battling depression and alcoholism. So we got a father who's controlling.
Yeah.
A mom who's an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Here's the details of the murder. The brothers used a 12-gauge shotgun.
Wow.
I don't know if that's relevant.
I think it is. The choice of weapon is very relevant.
Yeah, I think so too.
Why is it irrelevant?
Because that means, like, the shotgun means that, like, you got to get close and personal. To me, that's like
A hatred.
that was a very
Yeah, shotgun's a blast. And you can get those at Walmart, really. You can get them
But
anywhere.
could you in 1989?
Hey, Google,
You can get them.
can you get shotguns at Walmart in 1989?
Yes.
I couldn't find an answer to that.
There was
specific
no Walmart
question
in
per
1989.
query.
There was
It was
it?
generally
No.
possible to purchase shotguns at Walmart stores.
Whoa!
We also do not
be
sell
quiet,
handguns,
phone.
except in Alaska, where we feel we should continue
All
to
right,
offer them
you
to our
guys-
customers.
Google, shut it.
Here's why we use King Julian. Because Google is the worst assistant. King Julian, otherwise known as ChatGPT. All hail King Julian.
Or KK's cat, KJ.
KJ.
Yeah, KJ.
Yes, exactly, Ashley. Not an excuse.
Not.
But still interesting
Yeah.
to talk about.
Yeah.
Is there ever an excuse to murder someone?
No.
No.
Never.
What if somebody's about to murder you?
Self-defense?
You have to go through with murder.
Kids in your yard?
Murder.
No.
No?
No.
That's what
Just
the,
me?
That is what the
Dear
hose is
YouTube, do
for.
not cancel my videos.
Oh my. Beth and I already have plans. When we get old, we're going to sit in rockers.
And shoot people?
No! We're going
But we're blaming on Blake. Blake and Blake did it. It wasn't us.
we're going. She's going to have a cane and she's going to yell at him. I'm going to shoot them
Get off
with
my lawn!
Why you
water
got a
gun.
cane? You can't
Oh,
walk?
Because that's threatening.
Wait,
Just
do you want
for a
Nerf
weapon?
gun?
With a tennis ball on the end.
Do you want a Nerf gun? That's more fun.
Ooh, I want a Nerf gun.
I'm going to have a water gun. You can have a Nerf gun.
I don't know.
Nerf
I
or
want one of those
nothing.
really old water guns that had like the backpack
Get off my
that had like
lawn.
2 gallons of water.
You know I would.
Oh, yeah.
With a hose. It was like a super soaker, but you like wore the
Yeah, the
tanks on your
ghost.
back.
It was like ghost.
Oh
yeah.
my gosh, I love that
Yeah.
thing.
What were
That
they
was
called?
awesome.
I don't know what they were called, but it was a super soaker, but it had
But
two
you
tanks.
made it yourself. Yeah, and it had on the back like a backpack,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Me and my brother
Yeah,
attacked
get
a
off my
whole
lawn.
beehive with those things. It was terrifying.
Yes,
Okay.
Donald is
In the
drinking a
90s
Pepsi.
/ 2000, we got like, it was called surgical tubing, but we made our
Oh, yeah, we
water
agree.
things out of it. Do you remember
Yeah,
that? And
yes.
we filled it up.
Yeah.
Totally.
And they were so cool. Does anyone remember what that is?
What? I wasn't listening.
Oh.
Wow.
How
I was
wow.
reading.
typical for a Blake. Am I right? Blake, why do you never listen?
I was reading
Yeah,
comments.
Blake.
I'll get water guns at my job.
Okay,
okay.
Super soaker full of caffeine.
Ew.
Took it too far.
That was
Yeah,
too
you're right.
But
I
how
want to
did they
acknowledge
Who's this
Ashley.
Blake guy?
Not
Right?
cool, other Blake.
I want to acknowledge Ashley saying alcoholism and depression is no excuse.
Yeah.
I
it's
would
true.
say unless your life is in danger, murder is the last resort. But if
Yeah.
you're about to die, then yeah, self-defense.
I'll say this. There was abuse
Unless you're a kid.
in our family, and it was horrible. I have not murdered anyone.
Nope.
Yeah.
I've actually never even...
Sometimes I wonder about my day, how it's going to go.
Liar.
Gosh.
If something happens to me, it's Blake.
I've actually not even punched somebody. If there's a fight and flight, I have neither. I have fall.
Right, Crystal?
Because I would just fall to the ground and I would what are those things?
Play dead.
Possum? Yeah,
Play
I
dead.
would possum it. I play dead.
She
would.
She has said that so many times. Like
She
in a
would.
zombie apocalypse, what would you do? She's like, I would just fall over.
Yeah. I probably would actually pass out.
Meanwhile, I'll stand in front of you with my Gatling gun.
You would. One time there was a dog,
I could totally
and
say
I
you're
jumped
like-
behind you. Remember?
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Yeah. You're like, you don't have to play dead anymore. You're
Fine,
fine.
you're okay now.
Listen, Blake, and Blake,
Yes.
we've only gotten to the weapon so far. We haven't even gotten to the crime.
I'm
Okay,
sorry.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
go ahead. We're listening.
Chat.
What?
Oh
My Blake never listens either. Mine doesn't.
That's funny.
Okay. Jose was shot in the head at point blank range, rendering him unrecognizable. Yeah, a shotgun to the head.
Whoa.
You're not going to
There
look
would
like
be
anything.
like nothing
Hamburger
left.
meat, right?
Ooh.
That is just like
That's-
an anger,
Well, yeah.
a hatred. Yeah.
We'll get into why that anger existed.
Okay,
I'm
go ahead.
hoping if Julian allows us.
Yeah, Julian.
Get on.
Loser? Maybe your name should be Blake.
Oh!
Not because you're a loser.
Wait, that's how you made it sound.
Julian's the loser.
You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on. Hold the
Not
phone.
other Blake, not this Blake.
Why?
not
We
this
are
Blake,
all
not
for
that
Now
Blake
one of our
too.
chatters left.
Yeah.
I wonder who it was.
Probably Blake.
Aww.
No, for real. That came out wrong. Okay.
But we're all Blakes here.
Kitty, the mom, was shot
Yeah.
multiple times as she tried to escape. So she was running away, and the brothers were like, boom, boom, boom.
Wait, did she have a shot? Did she get shot with a shotgun?
Same
too?
gun, yeah. It was only one weapon, a 12-gauge shotgun.
Wait, but there were two brothers.
Yes.
Which one actually
Yeah,
shot?
which one did it?
That's a good follow-up question. You want me to ask now or wait till we get there?
Well,
As
wait.
long
till
as
we
we
get there.
remember.
I'll
Otherwise-
remember.
Okay.
I don't remember
We'll
anything.
put a pin in that. Julian, can you remember that? Why, yes, Kevin. I don't remember everything because I'm not...
Blake's like,
I feel like I'm coming short on Blake and I've never even met Blake. Those Blakes, am I right? High five, chat.
we know when you say Blake, you're talking about us and yourself,
Yeah.
not other Blake.
Yeah, because
if
we're
that's
the
even
Blakes.
his real name.
Right? It could be Blaine.
I know. His
Oh,
name
gee,
should be
Blitz.
Chuck.
Chuck. But she's Chuck.
Oh,
Look at her face.
Oh!
Look, it's on her cut.
It
It says Chuck.
They can't see that.
I know they
Cut.
can't. They're just gonna have to believe it.
Believe
that.
Okay. So,
Okay.
the scene was excessively violent.
Yeah.
A classic overkill. So, they
Yeah.
didn't just shoot their mom and dad. They boom, 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 boom,
They
boom.
did it out
It
of
was
hatred.
super violent.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
were getting back at them for something.
Now, the brothers claim they returned home after a movie and they just found their parents like that. They didn't do it. They just came home and that's the way it was, right?
Where did they say they were at?
The movies.
The movies.
Oh, okay. Did they say what?
What movie?
What movie?
What movies were the brothers seeing, Julian?
Texas
See.
Chainsaw Massacre.
Right? Where did they get that idea?
Yeah. Wait. Chainsaw.
An excellent detail to pull into the stream, Kevin. It adds this eerie layer of normalcy before the storm. On the night of the murders, Sunday, August 20th, 1989, Lyle and Erik Menendez, I can never get that name, Menendez, claimed
Menendez.
they were at the movies. Their parents were being murdered by, well, them, as we'll later learn. They were seeing the 1989 film Batman starring Michael Keaton
I love
and
that
Jack Nicholson.
movie.
Wait a minute. First of all, other Blake, exactly. Also, if it happened in, I thought it happened in 1989. Oh, it
1989.
did happen in 19. So they said they were going to see
Batman starring Michael Keaton,
Awesome
classic.
movie. Were they able to show tickets?
What does that matter?
Because
Well, that's
that's
part
part
of
of the
the evidence.
investigation.
It's the investigation. This is true crime.
Were
Yeah.
they able to provide evidence that they were seeing Batman in
She's gotta
1989 and
drive.
Alibi?
Drive safe, girl.
Don't drive in YouTube.
Yeah.
Hashtag safety
Dangerous.
first.
Safety first. What did you
Is
say?
this safety first?
Dangerous.
We're all about safety on RinFam.
Is this safety first?
It is now.
How did you?
It could be something else.
How
What's
about
the Hawaiian
that?
thing?
Can we do live long and prosper?
Peanut butter cup.
Oh,
That is
I can't-
essentially what
I
you're
love
doing.
this. I love that you can
I can
do
only
that
do
too.
it with my right hand. I can't do it with my left. Can you do it with both
I can't
hands?
do it at all.
Okay, I gotta try it.
Got it.
Shasta
I
or
can't do it.
Blake number 2 cannot do it. I can't do it with my left. Look at that. I look not right. But I can do it with this hand. Donald can do it. Other Blake can do it with both hands.
Well,
with this one.
yeah,
If you
I
look
have
at
to
this,
like.
this one's
where's
wider
this
because I
one?
play guitar. This one's not.
Have you practiced though? Are you sitting home like
I have.
Vulcan? I'm a Vulcan. That's right. I'm
Yeah.
logical.
Maybe they were
I have to live
traumatized
long and
like
prosper.
Bruce Wayne with his parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it is clear they were traumatized. Later, it
clearly.
did come out. I know originally. What should I stop?
No, I don't. You can do whatever you want. There's no rules here, Blake.
I know originally.
No one even knows your real name.
It's not Chuck.
It's Chuck.
She just said it was a Chuck. This is a whole other mystery.
My name is not Chuck.
It's Chuck.
Anyways, I know originally that because after they killed their parents, they went on a spending spree.
Yeah, they did. You're right.
Yeah.
That's coming up.
Yeah, so they got accused of killing them for money.
No.
Yeah,
That would
because-
just be a quick thing.
Yeah,
impersonal.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. I'm squirreling, so I need to stay on track. It's not good for me.
You squirrel away, squirrely squirrelerson.
we
We
literally
we
go
call
on
you
tangents.
not Ashley Brown anymore. Your name is Blake Brown. Squirrel away, fellow Blakes.
Yeah. So
Here's
it
an
was
interesting
clearly
point,
that
though,
it was
right?
full of hate and anger.
Yeah.
When asked about the movie,
Okay.
they said we possibly saw a second film, or at least they stopped for burgers and tickets
what?
as part of their alibi. They couldn't really remember if they saw... Who doesn't remember if they saw a second movie?
No,
Yeah.
you would remember.
Yeah.
It was
Depends
the
depends
same
on
night.
the movie. How bad it was.
I so far am not
Yeah, I
buying
mean,
this for a second.
Batman was good, but
Like,
what if you
they
saw... What's the
were-
worst movie?
They
Oh, I
clearly
don't know.
did it.
They thought
I'm sure
ahead
that there's some
about
really
it.
bad
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, it was premeditated.
Yeah.
If it's Okay, wait. How old were they?
16. That's
They
my
were?
guess. No, I'm guessing.
Wasn't it 45?
No,
No,
no.
it's
That's
the
how the parents were.
Oh.
45.
Well, I-
Parents would be like
47.
That's where my
70.
brain was
How
going.
old
Well,
were
I
the
have-
Menendez brothers when this happened? I want to go more about what was the worst movie in '89. Because you said,
It sounds awesome.
right?
Maybe they saw that.
Yeah, maybe they're like, oh, I saw...
Now I gotta end it.
UHF didn't come out
Weird
until the
Al?
90s.
No? Hey, Google.
Right?
I think.
Not coincidence.
Hey, Google.
UHF was great.
Donald, you're over talking Google. What was the worst movie in 1989? Don't make her say something dumb.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Of course she didn't. You know why?
Do you want to know what was the movie of the year in 1989?
No, it was Batman, you
opposite.
idiot.
No.
No one likes you anymore. That's why we use Julian.
We know more than you, Google.
Okay, to answer
Okay.
your question, Lyle Menendez was 21 years old, and he was born on January 10th, 1968.
Okay.
Eric Menendez was 18 years old and born on
So they were
November
adults.
27th, 1970.
What? November 27th?
Pretty close.
Ooh.
Late.
Okay, so they were adults at this point.
Yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
say there's no excuse.
No excuse. So you're siding with they don't have any...
Yeah. Say they were
Reason.
12 and 14, there's still such a I'm not saying there's any excuse. But say they're 12 and 14 and they couldn't... I get that they had some mental stuff, right?
Well,
I mean, they would
clearly.
have had to have.
Yeah. But as an adult, it's clearly premeditated.
But they could have definitely pleaded, like, insanity.
Yeah.
They could
And then they could have been in a, like, an asylum instead of prison all this time, because clearly, to me, it's just mounting up to, like, insanity.
mental, yeah.
Yeah, like, why did they not say anything about the abuse till much later? So
Exactly.
they're already lying. They're saying, we saw Batman. We don't know anything that's going on.
Yeah. Also, if it was premeditated, why didn't they get their story straight?
I think they would have regrouped together and say, here's what we're going to say, right?
Well,
Well,
and
yeah,
but-
even before doing it.
Yeah.
But you have to admit, though, there's two of them, and, like, that has to mess with, like, like, your
Their minds,
emotions
yeah.
and your minds, so, like, one of them may have, like, let something slip that shouldn't have been said, and
That's
then
true.
so then they're like, no, wait.
Yeah, because it would really
Like, we weren't there to
take
hear what they were saying exactly.
Yeah, it would take a mastermind, literally, to keep your story straight after doing something so...
Masterminds like us. Where's
Whoa.
our detective hats?
Yeah.
We
The
are
police are on
masterminds.
it.
Where's
We
my
will
mustache?
solve this.
So there's a movie called Eddie and the Cruisers 2, Eddie Lives.
I remember that movie, the Greaser movie. Oh,
That's supposed to be, like, really bad.
Is
Yeah.
this from the Menendez?
No,
From
this is-
1989.
That's the worst
because they said they
movie.
saw a second movie, but they couldn't remember it, so we're saying they probably saw Eddie and the
Oh.
Cruisers 2. I saw the first one.
I see.
It was stupid, too. So why they made a sequel, who knows? Yeah. Eddie and the Cruisers, 1989, I'm guessing. It was the same
It would have
year.
to
Yeah, that's what I looked up.
Okay. So early police, investigations said it was a mob hit due to the brutality of the murder. Like, there's no way anyone with any logical sense could do this. This is so violent, it'd have to be a mob hit.
Okay.
Cops did not test Eric or Lyle for gunshot residue.
Okay.
There was no immediate suspicion towards the children.
Okay.
Within months, their lavish spending raised red flags. So after they killed their parents, their family was really rich, to be
Yeah.
clear. And they went on this big spending spree with all their parents' money. So to me,
And
that
that's
says...
what raised a red flag?
Yeah, but doesn't that tell you there wasn't any remorse? And if
Right,
anyone
yeah.
wants to see what they look like, there's what the Menendez brothers looked like back in 1989. I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but they look kind of nuts, right?
Yeah.
They don't look like they're all there in the head. And maybe that's me
Well, I mean,
just being a Blake.
How long were they abused? Does it say?
I'm sorry, Blake, it's too much fun now. So there they are in their, lavish California Beverly Hills home. they look troubled, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know, like, a jury can't say, well, they look nuts, so therefore they are.
Does it say how long they were abused?
I mean, I can ask Julian.
Okay, ask. I'm curious.
How long were they abused?
Tell us now, Julian.
Do it, Julian Hale is his last name. Little respect for Julian. That's big again. See all of us. We'll just make it one Blake. No. Okay.
For the 4 Blakes.
I need to go back down to the bottom. Oh, goodness. Julian, you're not working out for me. You have some problems.
He is a meerkat.
Who has a meerkat?
Julian.
Julian?
Julian is a meerkat.
Oh, yeah.
Did you
Okay.
see her legs stretching?
Wait.
So adorable.
So they...
Oh, is he a meerkat? I don't know.
Who?
Never mind.
No, this is important. Don't say never
King
mind.
Julian.
He could be. You want me to ask him?
Ask if he's a meerkat.
Hey,
He's
Julian,
not.
are you a meerkat?
No.
We'll return to the true crime in just a moment. There's some answers that need to be had.
Very important questions right now.
He's
Very.
literally refusing to answer.
He's insulted.
He's not doing it. He seriously said nothing. I said, are you a meerkat, Julian?
He's gonna
Don't
need
forget who you work for, bozo.
He's gonna need a sacrifice, and I vote you.
I will sacrifice Kevin. It doesn't say that. Say, okay, here's exactly what Julian said according to Other Blake's question. Kevin, I may scan the landscape, stay hyper aware of every detail, and pop up in crucial facts at just the right moment, but no, I'm not a meerkat. I am, however, the kind assistant who will stand tall with you in the wild, savannah, and the 80s and 90s true crime, never blinking, never missing a twist.
What?
So no, not a meerkat, just Julian Hale, alert, loyal, full of dark facts
I don't
and
know.
good taste.
Wait,
Cannot
wait,
be in the outback or wherever it is said.
Why
The
not?
savannah, because there's no electricity.
But there's meerkats. Yeah.
I don't know if it walks like a
Listen,
meerkat.
Julian,
if it
how do
talks
you
like a
get internet
meerkat.
access in the outback?
Just say it.
If it walks like a meerkat, talks like a meerkat, acts
Must
like
be a
it must be a meerkat. He's lying.
Ah, the outback, rugged, remote, and usually better known for kangaroos than connectivity. But even in the world of Australia, you've got a few ways to connect to the world of the digital.
Star Marvel, hi!
Hey, welcome!
Hey.
There's a basketball trading card for Mark Jackson, and behind him, sitting courtside,
Really?
is the
Whoa.
Menendez Brothers.
Dude, I would love to see that card.
Dude,
Do you
that would be
have it?
awesome.
Send it to 1-800 Retro Renaissance, P.O. Box Blake Avenue. Don't send me anything, because I don't have a P.O. Box.
No.
It'll go nowhere.
And we're not really Blakes.
We got distracted. Point is, no, he's not a meerkat. What kind
He's
of question
not
is
a
that?
meerkat.
Hey, I
Okay.
wanted to know, and he described himself as a meerkat completely,
Yeah.
and he's lying.
He's a liar.
Julian, are you alive? I'm not going to derail. Last time we did a true crime thing, it was not true crime, but it was Satanic Panic.
Yeah,
And
we're
I was like,
off
you didn't talk
track.
enough about that. You got off track so bad.
Yeah,
so I'm going to
we're
try
gonna,
really hard.
I'm
Google
trying.
Menendez sports card. Yes,
I'll
sir.
do
Oh,
that.
yes.
Whatever
Smart
you
guy.
say, Blake number 6.
I'm on it.
Okay, let Blake number 2.
But you have to hold it in front of the camera. If you
Okay,
find it.
do that. Well,
Okay,
you go ahead.
Okay.
We asked a question. Do we remember what it is?
No, I'm back on the trial. We haven't even gotten to the second point of the crime.
Nope.
All we have is what happened, what gun they used, and what the investigation was. They said it was a mob hit.
Yeah.
And-
The red flag is that they went shopping with money. Okay.
And here's more about the spending spree.
Okay.
In the months following the murders, the brothers spent over $700,000.
Whoa.
In that time frame, too.
Yeah, one of the brothers, Lyle, bought a Porsche, a Rolex, and a restaurant. You know, who just
They
buys
still
a restaurant?
look exactly the same.
That's a sports card?
Yeah, show it up.
Yeah.
To,
Can
you
you
have to
show
get
it?
to the camera, Donald.
If not, I'll put them on Google's. But
Do it.
We'll see if this works.
don't trip over
Don't
the wire.
trip.
I'm not
Be a
tripping
bet.
over nothing.
The live stream has
Don't be a
unexpectedly
Beth.
ended by Blake
Don't
number
be a
3.
There they are. That's the guys right there.
Yeah, there they are. They look exactly the same. Look at them.
Yeah.
Look guilty AF even in that picture.
Yeah.
Just
If I was on
like
trial,
we're-
I'd be like, guilty based
Oh,
on that
it
sports
runs
card.
Slow.
We have the
Oh,
sunken
that's
eyes in, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's kinda,
It hasn't
Okay.
caught up yet.
So
Kinda
when was that taken though?
I have
What?
no idea.
Okay, we'll research it while Kevin
Oh,
goes on.
Dang it. Okay, I'll find
Erik hired a tennis coach and traveled internationally. They moved into a luxury hotel and spent
cool.
like lottery winners. They were spending all their parents' money after they allegedly, I mean, is it alleged? They were found guilty. So they murdered their parents. They claimed the money was part of their inheritance.
Oh.
So now we move to the confession.
Wait a minute, real fast. How long was it, did you say, after the parents were killed?
Before they started shopping?
Before they started spending all the money.
How long after the parents were murdered before they started spending money? I think it said months, but we'll double check with Julian, who's not a meerkat.
I don't know. I'm skeptical on that one.
All right, Julian says, "Great question, Kevin." Thank you, Julian. Thank you so much.
Chuck, but okay.
I want to thank all the people that brought me here today. First of all, Julian, all the little people, the other Blakes with me.
The Blakes, the other Blake.
I'm just surprised you know how to speak meerkat.
What do meerkats sound like?
I don't know.
Okay, how long after the murders did the Menendez brothers start spending? Immediately, as in within days.
Oh, no.
So, the murders happened on August 20th, 1989. Within days, Lyle begins withdrawing large sums of cash from his parents' accounts. Not his account, his parents' accounts. Lyle buys a Porsche and a Rolex within days of the murder. Eric hires a tennis coach and begins traveling extensively, including a trip to Israel within a week of the murders.
Because if it was their inheritance, they would have waited for the lawyer to give them the money.
Yeah. So within 6 months, that $700,000 was already spent.
Dang.
So we'll get to it, but I'm not seeing why people say, like, they should be let go. Like, it's clear they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And
like I said, it's not like they were preteens, like, I can't live with this for another 4 to 7 years. I'm at the end of my rope, and they did it, and you know what I'm saying. Not that it's an excuse.
No, but like there would be more of a psychological aspect to it, and I mean there is anyway. But you know what I mean. They would be stuck.
Yeah.
In a really bad situation.
Yeah.
And they would be young enough to need help.
Yeah, and it's like they've been serving 35 years. So if it's a one-off because of abuse and they were preteens or whatever, that's one thing. But they were full-on adults. They knew what they were doing. It was for a reason.
Right.
Like, maybe it was a reason they're saying now. Maybe it was the reason that they were accused of years ago. But would they do it again is the thing. Like,
of course
do
they
you
would.
want these people in society?
That's
Just
a
in
good
case.
question.
Yeah.
Star Marvel's getting us off tracks.
Oh.
What?
Not to get off topic, but Morant has a rookie card with Todd Bridges in the stands.
This tangent is brought to you by Star Marvel 76. So whatever happens next is not our fault. Leave your comments to Star Marvel 76.
What about Bree?
Bree said, what about Bree? Bree said Blake's listening.
Do they even know what's going on? Which Blake? You need to be specific. There's
There are
4
4
Blakes.
Blakes
Here, and then the Blake over there.
Blake. AB is Blake.
So
and
5.
Then Blake,
5 Blakes.
Blake is actually other Blake.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
Get it right, 3.
So, Todd Bridges, to answer Star Marvel's question, is the guy from Different Strokes. You know, Willis? What you talking about, Willis?
Willis!
Yeah.
What you talking about, Willis?
What you talking about, Willis?
Yeah.
And so I
have never seen it,
Googled.
but I know that.
I'm gonna show it just to get off a tangent just a little bit. We'll go back to murder because that's important,
Murder, you say.
The name of the game.
right?
Love Clue.
Me too.
So I typed Ja Morant, which is what he said, right?
Oh, okay.
Where'd he go?
When I saw it,
Ja
I read
Morant.
it as Morant, like you're a moron.
And Todd Bridges. I'm a moron. First of all, how dare you? Second of all, Blake,
Yeah.
what are you gonna say for that?
I didn't say it. Star Marvel did. It's how I read it.
Right. You need to Google like I'm a professional. Not
What?
you,
Oh my-
Google!
Not you.
Really?
Look carefully. It's what this picture says. So I'm gonna go ahead and not a
Look
YouTube
carefully.
video. I'll get claimed.
Wow.
Okay, so there's Joe Morant, right? Where
Mm-hmm.
do you guys see Todd Bridges?
There he is, top right.
Top.
What?
I need to make it
Who
bigger.
are we looking for?
I need
You don't even know what we're looking for. Like he's top right.
He's so
Who?
right. Wait,
Whoever we're looking
either.
for.
Jamorant.
There he is.
Oh, there we
He
go,
says
there
he's
we
at the
go.
top right.
I don't even know who Jamorant is.
It's a basketball player. That's not important. What's important is Todd Bridges from Different Strokes, right?
Why are we even talking about basketball?
We are not. We're talking
Star
about
Marvel
Todd
demanded
Bridges.
a
Why did he-
tangent.
Oh, Star Marvel
I
said it.
need
Okay.
2 hands.
He's
dude.
in the blue.
He's in the blue. I like how they circled just like
Glock,
this
the
black
wife and
spot.
husband. This is what? No.
What?
We went south. None of these are the people we're looking for. I blame Star Marvel and my Google skills.
That did not make it bigger.
I
for me.
definitely blame your Google skills.
Who?
You.
Yours.
You blame me?
I blame your
I thought that was a
Google
chatter.
skills.
I'm used to salty stuff from chatters, not from you.
Really? Your wife of 27 years, you're not used to anything salty coming from my
Listen,
mouth.
Blake, I don't understand why you're doing this to me right now in front of all of our friends and family.
Uh-huh.
We have a chat right here.
Uh-huh.
Let's go on to the trial, shall we?
Okay, let's
sounds
go to
good.
the trial.
Trials.
I believe you that Todd Bridges is somewhere in all that stuff I Googled, but we'll make us big again because, that's important, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
Is it, though?
Oh,
it?
is it?
That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't know. We're just talking. We're
Nope.
not watching.
Not VLC.
You need a song.
Transform. Fit to screen. Boom. Did it. You're welcome.
Bam.
Okay. The trials. 19... Did you guys see something?
It was Sasquatch.
There was a sky- I may or may not have seen Bigfoot literally walk behind us. So if you guys post that on any kind of mysterious page, hashtag #RetRen.
The conspiracy theory was page.
Okay.
Okay.
Trial 1. There's been more than one trial. So trial 1.
Okay.
Wow.
There's 2.
It was televised nationally. So
Yeah.
as a kid in 1989, well, I was 11 or 12. I can't remember.
You were like 17.
I was 12. Don't listen to me. I'm a young man. So when I was 12, back in 1989, it was on TV. But, as a young person, you don't care about
Yeah.
crime, right?
Nope.
Nope. Defense detailed graphic abuse allegations. So the defense for the brothers said they were drastically abused by their parents.
Oh, wait. This came out in 1980. The very first trial.
The trial was 1993 to 1994, the first trial.
Okay, that's the first
Okay,
trial.
but why? And this came out in the second trial. You
No,
said?
no, this is the first trial.
Okay.
So the first trial, we know that they've been abused. Drastically
So
abused.
that
But
was
how did they find
claim.
that out? Was it a claim or was that proved?
So we'll go on to that.
Proven.
Jury was deadlocked on both brothers at the point for trial 1. They declared it a mistrial. There was a second trial.
Why was it declared a mistrial?
We must
Why
know.
was the first trial declared a mistrial, and what abuse allegations were claimed during the first trial?
These are, if we're going to have our own opinions, we need to know these
Yeah, if
facts.
we're gonna have our own opinions, we need to get them from somewhere else.
We are the jury after all.
Have you seen the newest documentaries? No, we only know
The one with
the one on Netflix.
He's going to Manila. He's trying to derail us again. Star Marvel.
We're on to you.
Every time a commenter says, why did you guys go on a tangent? It was Star Marvel's
was Star-
fault.
Yeah, how
Yeah.
many trials were there?
So far, 2 that I know of. But they're thinking
Okay.
of doing a third one because now they're saying, well, maybe they should be let go based on these new
This
abuse.
is why, okay, that's what I had heard in the news.
Yeah, there's a new Netflix
Yeah,
documentary
and I
about
saw that, but I didn't watch it.
it. Me neither.
Then we started talking about it, and you're like, let's actually do this for a live stream. So this has
Yeah.
really been in my head now.
Yeah, we're going in raw. That's the best part, right?
That is the best part. So, Bree, there have been 2. Maybe a third is coming up.
So, your question.
Yeah.
Why was the first Menendez trial declared a mistrial?
Okay, yeah.
They were tried separately, but in the same courtroom with separate juries for Erik and Lyle. There were hung juries on
That's
both.
interesting.
Yeah.
That is
They were not
interesting.
tried together. Not as a group.
But they're in the same
But they're
courtroom.
Yeah.
at the same time?
Neither jury could agree on whether the murders were first-degree murder in the second degree or justified due to the abuse that they suffered from the parents.
Whoa, okay.
That is crazy.
So it
to
was a
me.
hung jury.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Then
judge
how did they go on? Okay, go ahead. No.
The judge declared a mistrial in 1994. Lyle's jury leaned towards second-degree murder or manslaughter, but Erik's jury was more split, with some leaning towards self-defense based on the abuse.
Okay.
The key reason? The abuse claims. They believed there were many reasons that this murder could have been justified based on what
Wait,
they
though,
had at the hand of their
Is
parents.
it when you are on a jury, at least when I was on jury duty, it was like, can we prove this without a doubt in
Right.
your mind? It wasn't like, oh, is it justified?
Yeah.
Did they do it or didn't they do it?
But not beyond a reasonable doubt.
Yeah,
right?
but then it's the judge's decision.
Right.
If they're what?
Yeah, the question isn't whether or not they did it. It's was it murder or was it
Right.
self-defense
Okay.
or was it manslaughter?
Okay, got it. So Star Marvel said, no, seriously, laugh out loud. The guy from the Menudo talked about being abused by the Menendez father.
Okay.
Who is Menudo?
I'll tell you about Menudo.
It's in the newer one.
Okay.
Menudo was a band from the 80s to probably now. They probably still exist. But they cycled through singers. They were a boy band, but they were Hispanic, and they all cycled through, different members of the band. There was never a core group of Menudo.
Okay.
So think of it like Mickey Mouse Club, maybe, but Hispanic singers. There's a boy band.
So literally somebody from a totally different family, like a totally different person not related to the brothers, was also abused by that same father. That's what Star Marvel is saying, right?
It could be. You want to talk about the abuse allegations? Like
Yes.
why this would be justified?
I do want to hear that part.
Okay. So here's
Cheers,
what...
KK.
Here.
Cheers.
All right, final cheers.
I
Blake
have a
number
little
6.
left.
So many
Cheers.
Blakes.
I know.
Ricky Martin was a Menudo. That is true.
You guys are all drinking something.
He's like,
Ricky
Pepsi, hashtag not sponsored. Pepsi, if you're listening, if you'd like to sponsor Retro Renaissance, please go to...
I need tape for that.
Ricky Martin was in Menudo. Was he the one who was abused?
No, Ricky Martin. She banged. She banged.
Yeah. No, first of all,
Ricky Martin
that's
was not abused.
That's not Ricky Martin.
That is Ricky Martin.
That's
Yes.
William Hung.
No, she
No,
banged.
no.
She banged.
He's singing on
He was
American Idol.
Idol.
Yeah.
Horribly.
I know.
But it was a real song.
It was a real song, but the way you sang it was William Hung.
Fine. You just... Listen, Blake.
The father was like a music producer or something. Oh, okay.
Living la vida loca.
Do you remember?
Does that matter?
Yeah. Do you
okay.
remember the Office episode where he's
Of
like,
course. I don't know
"Oh, why did they ask me if I'm a William Hung?"
Oh, yeah, because his license plate said, well hung.
Yeah.
And then Ryan's like, are you a William Hung fan? Why does everybody ask me that?
Yeah. No, he was not. Okay. Thanks for clearing that up.
Okay, anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
Here's the abuse allegation. So it's going to get dark, okay?
Okay.
Erik Menendez said that the abuse began when he was 6 years old.
Wow.
He described being molested, forced to perform oral sex,
Oh.
sodomized,
Whoa.
and told it was a father's way of showing love.
Ugh.
Oh.
He claimed Jose, the dad, wanted to tell him, you are my son and I can do whatever I want with you.
Ugh.
Lyle. So yeah, it changes, right?
Yeah,
now you're like,
really.
yeah, they kind of deserve to be.
I'm not saying that.
I mean, if it's true, I think they did.
That's so tough.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll go on to
I'm not
Lyle.
okay with child abuse at all. You know my love for kids.
Yes.
And you know the abuse that I went through growing up.
Yes.
But I didn't kill anybody. So it's
Yet.
a little bit hard to
I wake up
think
every day wondering how it's going to go.
that maybe I could. No, I'm kidding.
I'm kind of in a bad mood. Oh, no.
Not you. You're an amazing husband.
Aw, thank you, Blake.
You're welcome, not
Okay.
Blake.
Other...
Where is William? I don't know.
Star Marvel! These are the questions the chat really wants to know. Okay, we'll go through the other brothers' claims,
Okay,
and then we
yeah.
can look up William Hung if you really want.
Okay.
Lyle Menendez testimony stated he was also abused, though he was more guarded than his brother.
What does guarded mean?
More protected. And I could see that because a lot of abusers, when I was in my psychology class, they said, one child is kind of picked as the one that's going to be abused, and the other one's not so much, right?
Also, well, when it happened he was 6, so that means his brother was 3.
I don't know. Math.
Well, I mean, I'm just going off of their earlier ages.
76 and 79? No, 70 and something.
Yep, 70 and something.
I think there's
Blake
a
has it.
3-year difference, so one was 6 and one was 3.
Okay, let me just get through the abuse,
Yeah.
and then we can talk about it.
Okay.
It just makes me so angry.
Lyle claimed he once walked in on his father abusing his brother Erik.
Okay.
So there's eyewitness testimony.
Eyewitness, yeah.
Yeah, that makes the difference to me.
Yeah.
They also claimed their mother, Kitty, was emotionally abusive, addicted to pills and alcohol, and that she refused to protect them and let the dad do whatever
So
they wanted.
basically, she knew what was going on.
Yeah, and
she
she
was
was
trying to
complacent.
Yeah.
She's just as
Guilty.
Guilty. Yeah.
They said their parents often threatened to kill them if they told anyone. So does that change how you feel about them, about the murders?
I do feel like, based off of this, it's more self-defense. But what I don't understand is why wait until you're 18 and 21? Did they still live in their home? If they didn't...
That's what I was wanting to know.
Yeah.
If they had their own places, or if they had gone and had their own homes, or...
Yeah.
Because
Big
at that
brothers
point...
both live in the home.
Why
they're
still
adults.
live with your
Why-
parents who
they
are
could-
abusing you?
You know,
It would
why...
be weird if they stayed that long anyway in an abuse house. That would tell me that like they were being manipulated to stay.
Yeah,
Probably
conditioned
with
almost.
money. Or conditioned.
I'm going to say they did. I don't know yet because I asked Julian, but we'll see.
Dang it, Julian.
So currently, when the murders happened, the 90210 estate on Elm Drive was home to all 4 family members. It was the 2 parents and 2 brothers
The
still living at
boys
home.
still lived with their parents.
That is big red flags right there.
Were they still being abused then?
Lyle had briefly attended Princeton University, but had been suspended for plagiarism and was living back at home full-time at the time it happened.
Okay, this is the only thing. I do say they're adults, they should have known better, but at the same time, if you
Were they
grew
adults? Because
up-
listen, Eric was still a high school student attending a high school at the time.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So
So
say
he
you
was
was a
18,
minor.
but he was still in high school.
Okay, so say you grow up from 6 on. That's Eric, right? Who was sexually, physically, and emotionally abused, and then you're told, like, this is how I, show love.
Yeah,
blah,
what did he
blah.
say? Like, this is how a dad shows love. Which, right away, gross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to condone murder, but they kind of deserved it. If this is true...
Yeah. So we
Yeah.
just have to figure out if what they're saying is true. Were there any other witnesses? Did they tell anybody else?
Were there any other witnesses, or did they tell anyone else? These are good questions.
Yeah.
Yeah, regular scheduled programming because you're trying to get us derailed on Menudo and Ricky Martin. And now I'm going to Google William Hung, thanks to Blake number 2.
I don't think you want to Google that.
May not like what you see.
If I Google well hung, it may come up with something
That's what I'm
else.
saying. You don't want to do that.
It is a live stream. Maybe you should be more careful with that.
So, Blake number 2, your question was, were there any other witnesses or did they tell anyone else?
Yeah.
Yes, Kevin, even though it was Blake number 2. This is where it gets really interesting. While the Menendez brothers were the only people present at the murder scene, they didn't keep it secret to themselves forever. And that unraveling is what ultimately led to their arrest. Only Erik and Lyle were in the house during the murders. The crime occurred at night in a gated, wealthy Beverly Hills neighborhood with little outside visibility. Neighbors heard what they thought were fireworks or TV sounds, not gunshots. But they did tell people. They told Dr. Jerome, which is a psychologist. Erik confessed to the murders during a therapy session with Dr. Ozell.
Okay.
Erik was allegedly pressured into therapy by Lyle, who worried Erik might crack and say something he shouldn't.
And then he did.
He did. Lyle later joined the sessions, and both brothers talked openly about planning and carrying out the murder. So this was not a spur-of-the-moment thing. It was pre-planned. We're going to kill our parents. They've been horrible to us.
Yeah.
Bang, bang with the shotgun. It happened.
I meant like previously. Did they tell like somebody at school? Did they tell the...
That's what I thought you meant.
Yeah, counselor. Did they tell a family member?
Or even a hint at them.
Did they tell anyone before the murders happened? That's a good question. Because, like, if anything frustrates me most is when the police do nothing, or when the kids are begging, like, help me.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're just being silly. You know what I mean?
That's the thing. Like, I did say something, and the person I told, which I'm not going to say on camera, but they told me that I was a liar. So I felt like that person should have trusted me, and when they didn't, I just stopped telling people.
So Julian
Yeah.
said, no, they did not directly, but there were hints. Very dark hints.
Okay.
They told their tennis coach the following. His name was Nick Sorjan.
Wait, is that the tennis coach that he hired after? Or was
Probably
it...
the same coach, but I can ask that afterwards if you
Okay.
want. But days before the murder, Erik confided in his coach that he was being sexually abused by his father. He told the tennis coach he couldn't take it anymore and was considering running away or even killing himself. So John and Erik were in a deep emotional distress about the situation, but did not mention killing his parents. So the tennis coach didn't alert anyone because he's like, he's not saying he's going to murder his parents.
Was this
Yeah,
Lyle
but
or
he
Erik?
just he said that he was considering
This was
suicide. That would be like, hello.
It's a red flag. Like, someone should get help, right?
So clearly Erik was more abused than Lyle. He tried to reach out in the way that a kid knows how to.
And this was in the late 80s, so yeah, you probably heard kids saying that stuff a lot. You're like, man, but nowadays it's taken so much seriously, right?
Back then it really was not taken seriously. It's true.
So after the murders, he realized the depth of what Erik had been hinting at. And though I said live stream, pull this quote. So I guess this is a note for us.
Okay.
The quote was, I thought he was reaching out for help. I didn't know he was saying goodbye to his old life and considering killing his parents.
Wow. But still, if a kid came to me and said something about suicide, it's something that I would take seriously. But
yes, but that is coming from a point of view of, like, we've seen over the years, like, it being advocated.
Yeah.
That time it was not advocated.
It wasn't.
So for them to even think that, I can see why those weren't really
thought,
thoughts yet. But I do want to point out that that's super interesting how he first was considering suicide. What made him switch from suicide to murder?
Killing his parents, right?
Does it say how old he was when he said that to his coach?
I will ask that, but there's two other people that knew, and then we'll ask those follow-up questions. So if you have questions, please remember them, because I probably won't.
Okay. We're going to try.
Lyle, which was the older one, right?
No, the younger.
The younger one. Lyle told his ex-girlfriend, Stacy Severite. Stacy later testified that Lyle talked often about his father's control and his hatred of him. He never directly said he was planning to murder them, but he often said his anger and resentment towards his parents were intense. She described Lyle as volatile and manipulative, but again, never overt about committing murder.
Well, also, besides that, did he say anything about his dad being, like, abusive, not just controlling? That
to
can
Diane,
be totally
no.
different.
To Stacy. Who's Diane?
I don't know.
Sorry, all Dianes, I'm sorry.
Okay.
The other person that knew was, that's probably where I got it, Diane Vandermolen, their cousin.
Okay.
Erik told her about the abuse years earlier when she was only 12 or 13. So we're going to give her a pass because she's 12 or 13.
Yeah.
If someone about your age says that, you're like, I don't know what to do with that, right? Yeah. That's not your responsibility. She admitted she was too young and scared to report it, and she didn't fully believe it at the time. She had no knowledge of a murder plan, but her testimony became key to proving the abuse narrative that was fabricated after the fact.
Oh, okay.
So those are the three people that knew.
Okay, before we go on, can we take a little break?
Yeah, we're going to take a intermission,
as you will. A little intermission, because
we'll be back in about, 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
2.
We'll do the countdown. Go ahead. What's
is
intense?
this?
What'd you have?
A jelly bean.
How dare...
Oh my!
Oh!
You just handed out
A couch jelly bean.
couch bean.
That wasn't one of the bad ones, Beth. It was yellow. It was good.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
So-
lemon.
And you took a chance of it being a bad one.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mom.
First,
And
we
warrior
need
status.
to talk about the important things,
Mm-hmm.
which how do I do that?
Sorry.
Oh, Logic.
No, you're okay. Man, those jelly beans are.
Where is William Hung now?
Oh, are we on live streaming now?
Yeah, we're live streaming now. I'll turn this back on.
Hey, Donald, thanks for calling out my couch jelly bean.
On
I didn't
live
say
with
it.
everyone.
Yeah, you did.
No, I did not.
I ate it. You said it. It happened.
I just said
I'm a mom. It don't cry.
It could have been a bamboozled or whatever it was.
No. I know
We
it's
should
not
play
a
that on
bamboozle.
live stream.
Oh,
No.
I'd do it.
I will throw up.
Dear
But I don't
chat,
like
can
it.
you please have my back with this one? It's very important.
How
No.
about we do our own version, and all of them are good, and we just have to guess which ones are.
Ooh, strawberry. Ooh, popcorn.
We'll
the
just
end.
do jelly
Popcorn is my
belly.
favorite.
I think that's Kevin's favorite too.
The popcorn one?
They're so good.
I know.
Or if you do the peanut butter and grape one, you get
Ooh.
PB&J.
I've never tried it.
Never tried it. but
Jelly
it sounds
Belly.
I don't like jelly bellies.
To sponsor Retro Renaissance, please go to Ren80s
They're not gonna
at
sponsor
Gmail.
me with saying I don't like them. I just
They're
like.
like, what about her?
Opinions of other Blakes does not count as Retro Renaissance official stance.
I just like OG jelly beans where they all taste like sugar and there's no flavor to them at all.
So here's what I think we should do. Tell me what you think.
Okay.
Let's wrap this deep, dark thing up, right? Let's see where they are now, and then we can talk about other stuff if we want, right?
That's fine, but later you and I are talking about it more because I've been waiting for this literally all
You can
week.
say whatever you want. Black jelly beans. KK gets it. They are
Yeah.
the best.
I hate the black
Okay.
jelly beans.
Boo, Crystal.
So what flavor
boo.
is the black
Bree
jelly bean?
already ate it.
Black
Is it black
licorice.
licorice?
Yeah.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah, it is. What do you mean, oh no?
Don't you
They're
know, you know
disgusting.
the story with black licorice and me?
Don't eat
Come
it.
on now.
You
Oh,
and
yeah.
Kevin have always been
Anything
so
black
much
licorice
alike.
for me
Yeah,
is a
Donald
no-go
and I have been
nowadays.
always
Blake
been
number
so
3.
much alike.
Yep.
May have had a beverage called absinthe that tasted like black licorice.
Horrible.
And we thought it was a good idea. If you've ever had absinthe, you take sugar cubes. It's kind of sound like I'm doing meth, but I'm not. And you kind of catch it on fire with the absinthe, right?
Yeah.
And it melts the sugar cube into the absinthe, and then you shoot it.
Yeah.
Go on. What happened?
A lot happened.
Go
lot that I
on.
can't
A lot
remember.
happened.
A lot that I can't remember, and the only thing I do
I
remember
was
though
there.
is the spinning of the world. It just, I was
Okay.
bad.
Well, we remember you got super
Ladies?
drunk off of it, and then you threw up a lot.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Disclaimer,
It
if you're
never
not
stopped.
of age, please do not drink.
No.
This is just our
That
opinion.
was for
Nothing we
his
say
21st
matters. Okay, go ahead.
And also drink responsibly. Don't be Blake number 3.
Hey, I was drinking responsibly, kind of.
Okay.
We didn't know
Go
what
ahead,
absinthe
girls.
whoa was capable of. Beth,
Did
I
you
just
just
spilled
spill that on
soda
me?
on you. I'm
On
sorry.
our couch.
And on Beth's shirt.
Now
And on
you
my
did
phone.
it.
Did it go where the jelly
Bree,
bean
how
got-
do you
where
live
the
with these
jelly bean-
Blakes?
I'm not going to take it off the couch. Sorry.
It's your black hole.
You
Oh
can't.
my gosh.
There's
it's
your
all-
black
I
hole.
told you it's on your jacket.
That sounds so bad.
That's what she said.
There are no more jelly
Or he
beans
said.
down there.
Watering
Okay,
your
but-
couch jelly beans will not end up with a plant growing out of
So
it.
it's
I'm
not
just,
Toontown.
I'm just saying.
Okay,
That's
fine. Okay, so what? Oh, what happened was Donald
What happened
was
was
super brave. I actually did not try it at all.
we did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Donald did, and I think he must have liked the first shot because then he did another and another and another.
Yeah, and for
Then-
him, that was like,
Yeah.
Beth and I are like, "What's your problem?" This is great.
It caught up to him.
Oh, it did.
Not only did he throw up, it came out of his nose, burnt his nose.
It burnt
and-
my nose.
yeah,
Yeah.
he went to work the
lips.
next day
Just
at
remember,
6
Blake
in the morning
Donald, you brought this up.
Hey,
with
you
a
know,
burned nose, and people were like, "What
black
did you do?" your
licorice.
nose?"
It's terrible. I can't. Anything that smells or tastes like black licorice makes
Yeah.
me so nauseous.
And then he curled up behind our toilet and slept until we went and got
No,
it.
under the chair.
And then
You're
he
always
came
Bree. There's
out.
Blake's, but there's only one Bree. You're the
Who's
Bree.
Bree now? You're Bree.
Who's
Bree
the
now?
Bree now?
And then he
On that
slept
movie.
underneath the chair in
Chair.
our living room. While
He always
we had
curled up
game
under
night.
a chair.
Every time
when
you
you're
got
small,
drunk,
you can curl up under a lot of,
Yeah.
a lot of
you were
things.
like a little cat.
I was not
Yeah.
small at that time. I was pretty big
You
at
were
that time.
like
I would not
over
curl up under a
400
chair.
pounds back
How
then.
dare you, ma'am?
Dude, I know, I'm just saying, look at you. You worked hard.
Bam.
Yeah. You have worked hard
Dear-
and you deserve that. What? way.
Damn.
I remember-
Why you
Dear Julian,
thank you.
Blake number 2 just called me fat. What should I
No, I didn't.
do? No, whatever Julian says we have to do.
Okay.
Okay. It says,
Sternly worded message.
right? Dear Kevin, first of all, Blake number 2 can go sit down.
She's already sitting
down.
Okay,
She's
step
already
one done.
sitting. Preferably somewhere far from relevance. Oh, that's not me. Hashtag not husband. It's Blake.
Wow.
Here's the thing. When someone calls you fat, especially someone whose name requires a number for differentiation, Blake number 2, it says everything about them and nothing about you. You want to know what to do? Reframe the insult. Okay, it's not an insult. I'm not going to go on to that because Julian kind of unleashes on Blake number 2 a little bit, and I didn't mean it.
Yeah,
was just
because I
playing.
just said that.
I know what you're saying.
You've worked really hard. I'm super proud of you.
Thank you.
Secretly, Blake number 2 really hates meerkats.
Do you?
What's
Not a meerkat.
What's a
It isn't a
meerkat?
meerkat.
It's not.
Wait,
those-
Kid Julian is a meerkat, isn't he?
It sounds like something that would be on He-Man.
Well, what the
He-Man,
heck animal
that's
is
just
a real
it?
animal.
Hey,
What?
hey, do you remember
Hi.
something?
How you doing? I remember lots of stuff.
Remember how we were talking about him drinking absinthe?
Yes, I'm 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Why are
Do
we
you
bringing that
remember?
back up again? I don't want
He's
to talk
all
about
like, boo,
Do you
under a chair, nose burnt.
Do you remember how I did breakdancing?
Yes.
We
Yes.
remember the breakdancing.
Yes.
We remember the
Here's
breakdance.
the thing, Beth, or Blake number 1, if you choose to be called that.
I thought it was
You've
four.
done that many times in our life together. Christmas Eve, you're like, watch what I can do. And she started go and see
1
what she
o'clock in
did.
the morning.
1
No.
o'clock in the morning.
No.
What do you mean no?
We literally spent the night at their house for Christmas because our kids are older and it's boring. And she still has younger kids, so it's more fun. And Beth is a kid at
And
heart.
that's when you woke up.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I fell asleep on the couch and I woke up to Beth saying, "Oh, look what I can do."
I was on the floor.
And she was just doing sit-ups on the floor like it was this big, impressive thing. And I was like, cool. And I fell back to sleep.
I wasn't even drinking. I was just like,
No, that was just normal.
I was just
Yeah.
tired.
Normal
Yeah.
you.
That was just you.
But the
being you.
breakdancing is the same thing. You're like, watch! And you started breakdancing.
It takes skill to break dance.
Come on over,
but
KK.
It takes
We
Yeah,
can make
KK.
we can make it a 5-person live stream.
Yeah.
What were you
Yeah.
saying, Donald?
It takes skill to break dance, but it takes more skill to come up with your own dance.
Yeah.
Remember my
Breakdance.
shrimp?
You're in.
Yes.
shrimp
Okay,
dance?
show us your
Shrimp
shrimp.
dance on the live stream.
I won't do the shrimp dance. That's
No,
Patreon.
your basic, his
That's for your
basic dancing
Patreon.
is.
That's for a
That
paid
head.
exclusive. If you want to see Donald's shrimp dance, please sign Patreon exclusive.
Will you do it for a Patreon?
I would do it for
Yeah.
Star Mobile asked a very important question. Where's William Hung? He's the senior statistical analyst for the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department.
Wow.
Well, now we know.
Wait,
Was that
what?
worth it?
What happened?
William Hung is currently working on a senior
As a-
statistical analyst. I can't see, okay? My eyes are bad.
Mammalist.
Oh, yes. I think your glasses
No,
plus
if you
my
put your
glasses,
glasses
will give
on
me
top of-
superpowers.
See, that's perfect.
I can see a lot better now.
There's
no,
what he looks like now.
Extra vision.
And there's what he looks like now. If we're nothing here at Rhett Ren Fam, we are there for our chatters. Star
Yeah.
Marvel.
That's
this,
right.
Yeah,
This
is for you.
derailing thing that means nothing to nobody else. That's just for you. And what is he saying? She bang! She bang!
Yeah.
I don't even know what just happened.
William Hung. I can't post
That
it
was
because
back in the
YouTube will be
absent
like.
days.
You remember when you were under the chair? William Hung was on.
I remember the chair.
That's actually when we
Oh, what happened?
found that
I
we
messed it
loved
up.
My Chemical Romance, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kevin and I have been
we used to.
thinking.
Sorry, go ahead.
A
What were
baby.
you saying?
American Idiot by Green Day.
Okay.
Gorillas.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Ethan was like,
Feel
That's
good.
Feel
Eat.
Good.
hated
Feel Good
that,
Inc.
Yeah.
BANA. That was
Yeah,
our vibe
Twist
back
the
then.
Vibe.
Yeah.
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 Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, Shasta.
And for me, on the side, Megadeth, and always Metallica.
Megadeth with
Always.
Eddie? No, that's Iron Maiden.
With Eddie.
Eddie.
Iron Maiden, right?
What?
Eddie? Am I?
She's
Why you guys
like
look at
a
me like
squirrel.
We're
I
confused,
know,
Kevin.
but no, I'm not crazy. I gotta be
Anytime
not
someone
crazy.
says Eddie, all I can think of is a squirrel.
I know, because squirrels are Eddies.
Man, Iron
It's science.
Maiden. Do you guys not know Iron Maiden?
Of course I know Iron Maiden.
Eddie.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Then
but
why you guys acting
Eddie
like
Van
I'm
Halen?
insane? No!
Because we were talking about squirrels.
No! I like this funny.
Wait, were we talking about squirrels?
Eddie Manson.
No,
I
you
was
guys
talking
were.
about Eddie.
No, Eddie, man. Stop making stuff up. All y'all are. Okay, listen. Eddie, the
Yes.
cartoon character
Oh,
from Iron
okay.
Maiden, the skull
Got
guy.
it. Got
Yes.
it. Yeah.
That is what their thing was, right?
Okay.
Gosh, it won't scroll down. I blame Julian.
Julian?
Wait, is King Julian a meerkat?
No!
We never got to finish.
It's not a meerkat.
No one's a
What the
meerkat.
heck is he?
Why are you
I'm
obsessed
gonna
with
look it up.
meerkats?
You're a meerkat.
Because I am
got
gonna
him.
prove. I'm gonna prove that he's a meerkat.
Let's
Okay.
see. What does a meerkat look like?
That's what I want to know.
Okay. I'm gonna
Nope,
show
he.
you.
We're so far gone from what we were talking about. No, not the
I knew it.
countdown.
A lemur. I knew it.
Okay,
Okay,
look
lemur,
at Donald.
lemur.
That's a meerkat.
Lemur.
Okay.
That's cute.
Here, let's put it next to you. Look at the camera.
Steve.
Yeah, I
Ellen.
can see it.
Okay, important
Definitely.
debate. Important debate. Raccoons versus squirrels.
Squirrels.
Raccoons.
Squirrels.
Really?
I am not
Too
getting.
brute.
I
How
am-
dare you?
You're
a
not
bunch of
getting a
squirrels
raccoon.
all together are vicious, man. They would just like devour
But
a
raccoon, they got the
I found your look
appendable
exactly.
thumbs and fingers. They went, take that squirrel face. Show the camera what a meerkat looks like.
They can't
No,
see
they
that.
see that. Get your booty up and put it to
It's
the...
too much.
All I gotta do it. All I have to do is do
Donald
the
did
face.
it. Are you telling me Blake number 3 is cooler than you?
Ow.
I am.
Hey, that person agrees
No
with us.
squirrels! Raccoon!
That is a meerkat.
Yes.
Welcome
Thank you, KK.
Welcome to Raccoon World. We're only watching raccoon videos from here on out. None of these other Blakes matter.
I would say
Here we
a
go.
raccoon.
So I can nap.
But I know you. If I
You
say
can have it if
yes
you
to a
want.
raccoon, you're gonna be like, "We're getting a raccoon."
Yes, please.
No.
Just one pet raccoon.
We have raised 4 toddlers. I don't
Zabumba
need
fruit.
any more toddlers in this house.
But that's
Wait, if he gets a raccoon, I get an Eddie.
Yeah.
It's just-
Nobody gets anything.
Nobody.
Beth,
You
we're-
have 3 cats.
We're
We
not
have
Look how
a cat.
serious she
We
got.
have enough.
Beth, we're not,
Nobody gets anything.
Beth, we're not getting an undead zombie. It just ain't
Thank
happening.
you.
Donald,
Yet.
Thank you.
Wait, who's the
Where's
undead
my high
zombie?
five?
The Eddie guy.
Again, I will
We're
say
getting
you.
an Eddie.
Thank you.
Should we go back to this whole crime
Whoa.
thing?
Yes.
Or are we over it?
Let's
I mean,
finish
he is-
Let's finish it.
People are
That
going to
wrong.
get cranky if we don't. So I'm going to just say it. Nope, this is all about lemurs and stuff. I need to scroll back.
Squirrel is the best. He's a lemur. Squirrel. No Maryland. I don't know what any
You
of
are
this
the best,
means.
Glitchy.
Raccoons are the best. That's all that matters. It's my channel.
Yeah.
Okay. It's,
I get to just.
I would rather watch.
How can I mute individual Blakes?
You can't. I'd rather watch raccoon videos than squirrel.
There, nobody
videos.
sees anything. No one can see you right now.
Squirrels are awesome.
Can they hear me?
Oh yeah, I need to mute the audio. No one can hear you. Here's the last where raccoons are best. Okay, we're back. Don't do squirrel motions in the
I thought I
camera.
was doing raccoons.
That's a
Because they're
squirrel.
better.
Oh, wait,
right?
I'm supposed to do this.
Yeah, they're
Wait, what does a raccoon do? Like this?
the raccoon does more like.
And a squirrel does this? Blake number 1, inappropriate.
Let me hold it while you scoot
We
up.
need.
No,
we
I
need
got
to-
it.
Here's the thing. If we don't finish
Oh,
this
man,
up,
I
we'll
was
get
gonna
some
scoot
smart.
Yours
I-
is right
I know.
there.
It's too
I want
far.
to call out that chatter.
Which one?
That said that we didn't cover the satanic panic enough.
We didn't.
I'm gonna look it up.
Who said it?
I'm gonna call him out and be like, listen. No, I'm not gonna be mean to him, but I'll be like,
No.
listen. Okay, we
Well,
won't
we
do it.
wanna-
I won't
No,
do
I'm
it.
saying don't be mean. We can
Let's
talk
get to the
about
end of this.
satanic
Yes,
panic.
let's get through this. Come
Okay,
on,
let's
Donald.
finish this.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Let's talk
important.
about
Hey,
the
it's not my
satanic panic
channel.
for that one random person we don't know who's the
I
name.
think the most important part is Blake 2. Go sit on it.
Is that me?
Yeah, it was you.
I'm already sitting on it.
Sit on
Ouch.
it.
Ouch.
Okay, the second trial. Where are they now? They're
Yeah.
incarcerated R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility in San Diego. They reunited in 2018 after 22 years apart.
Wait, I wasn't listening. Re-say
Which
that.
part? Okay, we'll start with me. Lyle Menendez.
Oh no!
Not that far back. Too much to explain. Please sum up. Incarcerated. They are currently incarcerated at R.J. Donovan Correctional Facility in San Diego. They were reunited in 2018 after 22 years apart.
Wow.
Both have been married while in prison.
Wait, how?
Both have been married.
What?
I explain.
Okay, I'm not going to say this person out loud, but I know somebody, and I feel like that if they were not already married, they could actually marry somebody in jail because it's just their personality.
Lyle was married twice in prison.
Wow.
Eric's been married once.
Are they both still married?
Yes. No children. They're in their 50s as of 2025.
Okay.
However, there's been recent developments.
Okay.
There's been renewed public interest via discoveries via Netflix and TikTok.
TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok. You know, that's how we solve all the crimes.
I mean, if it was Reddit, I would say okay. TikTok?
I mean, yeah, Reddit's cool.
Totally.
TikTok, losers.
I'm not saying that TikTok are losers.
Please follow my TikTok.
I'm not saying that TikTok's losers, but a lot of times they post stuff and I'm like, then it cuts and you're like, hey, you need to pay attention to the cuts. That's where they're cheating it, okay? But Reddit, they got their crap together. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. So, recent developments. We know about TikTok.
Yeah.
In 2023, new allegations linking José Menendez, the dad, to the Menudo abuse scandal, which Star Marvel talked about.
Did say, yeah.
LA District Attorney opened a new review of the case. So as of 2025, there's no new trials granted, but calls for justice and reconsideration are ongoing and they might be freed.
Wow.
You guys think they should be freed after everything we've absorbed? They were abused, allegedly.
I'm going to stand by what I said to Beth when you guys were not listening to me.
Yeah.
We always listen.
Blake's never listened.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
What's your name?
I'm Blake.
Okay.
2.
I have a number after me. I don't remember which one.
I think it's 2.
2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you not count to 4?
She can only count to 4.
I knew it. To 2 because I'm Blake 2. 1, 2.
What was that from? That was a video, right? I
Yeah,
can only count
Elmo.
to 4.
Leave TikTok alone.
Let the body hit the floor.
I'm just saying TikTok is not where you should solve your murder mysteries. That's all.
That's right.
I mean, why not? We're gonna solve a murder. We're gonna do a mystery. We're gonna solve it on TikTok.
Also, do not get your recipes from TikTok because
they usually don't turn out.
They're not going to turn out. Also, don't follow fads because most of the time people don't care if you hurt yourself. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wise
Okay.
words. Wise words like that.
Now that's my mom's speech for the night.
So what do you think?
Okay. Oh, wait. I was going to say what I thought.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
why are we skipping
already
the...
not
Listen,
Why are we
listening.
skipping the...
We're trying to mansplain right now.
Oh, okay. Go ahead then, Blake 4.
Go ahead.
Why is there a foot here?
Why 4? Why did you jump to me? He said it.
Wait, I didn't know we could do.
Why should I just putting your
Blake
feet
4,
on
where's
me?
your foot?
Look at my sock.
Yeah.
Are those cats
No,
or whales?
it's a
Those
whale.
are orchids.
Orchid. Not orchid.
Those
I mean
are
orca.
Orca.
I'm not flexible enough to do this.
Mine are Bob Ross.
You win.
She wins.
Those are shoes. Those
What are
aren't
yours?
socks.
They're Keens.
They're just black. He's boring, and Beth cannot wear socks because of her poor feet.
Poor feet.
I'm wearing slides.
That's what the cool kids do.
Okay, Kevin, what do you say?
Wait, how did it get on me? You were doing a whole rant. Wow, you
Look
burped
what
on
you
live stream.
did.
Please, everyone, note this point. What time? What's the time frame?
We all thought
Do
it was
it.
going to be me.
No, do a timestamp.
Chatters want us to get back to it.
Get
Every
back
time-
to it, Kevin.
Every time my co-host burps, you guys tag the time, and I'll put it in the chapters.
No.
This is important.
Don't do it.
Shasta, hashtag Chuck, hashtag
Blake
Blake,
number
number 2.
Don't do
Every
it.
time she burps, tag it.
I did it one time on accident.
It's not the one time. I've kept
I've
logs.
done it
Let me go to my
one
other
time.
screen.
Logs.
on live
Chapter
stream
1,
on
September
accident.
15th, 1994, when we...
That lady agrees.
I did. KK, that's Crystal.
Good push.
You just called out her name. What if she got doxxed?
She said that her name was Crystal on the last one.
When?
On
On
the
the
last
last one?
live stream, yeah.
What was the guy... what was the other chatter's name?
Scott, and there was one other one that I
they're
don't
not here
remember.
tonight.
Hey,
y'all, where are you two?
Scott and the other
Scott
one.
and another guy.
Yeah.
Star Marvel.
Star Marvel's
here.
here a lot. I love
Where?
Star Marvel.
He's
Go
gone
get
now.
the other two.
Because Star Marvel knows all these crazy facts because they know somebody like in the business.
Star Marvel derails me more than any other channel. I'm like, yeah, what about that? It's your fault that our live streams don't go according to plan.
But I like that they don't. Okay, tell us what you think now.
Okay, first I want to say if you have any complaints, please send them to Star Marvel. He's in
76.
charge of this whole thing.
Hey,
I don't know
you don't
anything.
know if it's a guy or a girl.
I said the whole. What did I say?
You said he.
I mean,
call him a
Star
he, too.
Marvel.
You
Uh-oh.
do assume everybody is a guy.
I mean, they are, right?
I assumed he was a guy.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Guy, you're a guy.
We don't. Oh, Rhiannon.
Where have you been? You haven't even
Baby,
chatted.
Where have you been?
Say
Rihanna.
something. Okay, say something. Whatever you want to say. Say it, and we will talk about it.
I'm giving
Being up on you.
What just happened?
We will deep dive on whatever
just
you
Kevin
say
and I.
next, not tongue face.
What just happened?
Tongue face we can't do much with. Any topic, 80s,
I thought I was in a
90s,
musical for a
2000s,
second.
2010s.
We know you hate them.
I
Randomly
remember
breaking
when
into song.
emojis came out.
What?
I remember when emojis were like started coming out as a thing.
Bree
Okay,
is still here.
I thought you said, I remember when cheese came
Okay.
out, and I was like, yeah, duh.
Everyone knows
literally
cheesecake.
not that old, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, but we
Okay,
know.
let's figure
Let's
this out.
wrap it up, and
Okay.
whatever Bree Walker says, or Rihanna KB, Rhiannon?
Rhiannon?
I want to say Rihanna
Rhiannon?
because of the singer.
There,
What?
it doesn't
Rhiannon.
sound like onion. It's Rihanna.
Rhiannon. Onion.
Okay.
From
Yeah.
King of Queens.
Yeah. I love King of Queens.
Me
That's
too.
a new tangent. So whatever you guys say, we'll talk about next.
Yeah.
But let's wrap this up because
Okay.
honestly, I'm over the Menendez brothers. I think they kind of maybe deserve some prison time, but maybe not life in prison.
Well, here's the thing. They've done 35 years
I think they
already.
needed like some mental help, like big time.
Yeah.
Did they get it?
That's what I wonder. Can
Yeah.
we find that last bit out?
Yes.
Okay.
They spent 22 years in prison. We talked about that.
Yeah.
There's
22,
been
I thought it was 35.
no 22 years in prison.
Okay.
They've been in prison since they're reunited in 2018. They've been separated for 22 years.
Okay,
That's
because they
different.
were
Yeah,
in
yeah,
prison
yeah.
as of 1989, right?
Your math skills. Billie
oh, Bree,
Eilish.
you are so obsessed with Billie Eilish.
I'm a bad guy.
I really like that song.
I like her brother.
Oh,
I
Phineas?
like Phineas. I'm
Oh,
a Phineas
so
fan
passionate.
all the way.
Yeah.
All the way.
His creativity
I don't know who that
is amazing.
Listen.
He's an amazing
Phineas.
dancer.
Not Infurb.
I
Everyone
was
says
gonna say.
Infurb. Everyone says that. I'm like, I like
You know,
Phineas.
I'm down with Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, but it's like
It's been
very-
104
How-
days
what did
since
you
summer
say?
vacation.
Max,
Is that how it goes?
dances
Something
like,
like I thought you were going to do
What's
the
that
little
called?
Terry the
There's Max
Platypus.
dancing.
Mac.
Perry the Platypus.
Interpretive.
Yeah, he does interpretive type dance that is so passionate and like
With, what's the girl?
I don't remember him. And almost
That
weird.
reminds me of Shia LaBeouf with that one lady.
Yeah, Sia.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I love
yeah.
that
Shia LaBeouf.
video.
Maddie Ziegler.
Yeah. Remember when Ethan Wolf Legend had the biggest crush on her? They were the same
You're
age.
going to call him out.
I'm a mom, I get to. They were the same age, so it was fine, but it was so adorable.
Yeah.
All right, let's hear
Okay,
your
let's wrap this
opinions.
up.
Did they get help?
There were no eyewitnesses, but they confided after the murders to their therapist, their cousin, to the tennis coach. We know that. They said, yes, we're talking about murdering our parents. There were hints before the murders. Erik discussed suicidal thoughts and abuse days before the murders. So, I'm going to say, what did you say?
Did they
Listen,
get
Linda.
therapy
Get therapy
After
after they were convicted?
they were convicted, and where are they now?
Yeah.
Listen, Linda, was that on Weird Science? What
No.
was that on?
It was like some sort of like cartoon that you and Oliver watched together.
No, listen, Linda.
Like
no,
where
what
he's
is
a
that from,
horse?
Bree? What?
Yeah,
Where he's a
Bree.
horse. The guy I love,
No.
the actor I love. And
Yeah, I
he's
know
a
you're
horse.
talking about Will Arnett.
Wait a
or
minute.
Will
Bo
Arnett.
Jackman.
you love a horse?
He was the voice of a horse.
Hey,
What?
Google, what's Listen Linda from?
Wilbur. No, it's Will Arnett.
Okay, here's a YouTube music playlist called
Are you
Linda
kidding
from
me?
Worst.
Hey, Google, shut up! Hey, Google, stop! You're gonna give me copyright claim. Hey, Google, order Beth 500 pounds of dog food. Wait,
Yay.
my Google's
All right,
thinking.
stopping Gary.
Okay, you better not order
But Gary
dog
is
food.
the garage.
All right, stopping Gary.
What's happening? Hey Google! Hey Google! Hey Google!
Oh my goodness.
Hey Google! I need a minute.
Linda.
I think I stopped. That almost got me copyright claimed.
Did you know on the Lion King it was a meerkat?
Bree, what's Listen Linda
I
from?
didn't know that.
Yeah, the Lion King, meerkat. Dig, 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 tunnel.
Dig, dig a tunnel. Yeah. I think Vine. Huh?
What?
What's Vine?
I'm gonna look it up.
No,
I
it's
know
a
what a
cartoon.
Vine is.
Yeah.
Listen, Linda. It was
Bree is
something
too
like
young
that.
to remember, that's all.
The year was 2014, and Bree was born.
I love you guys. We love you too, KK.
Are you leaving?
And we
No.
Don't.
Nope.
Not allowed.
Get,
Nope.
get your
Nope.
booty back
Nope.
here. Listen, Linda. Oh, I cannot spell worth a darn. I blame. Listen, listen.
I'm pretty sure it's a cartoon that you
Hey,
and
Facebook.
Oliver watched together.
What?
It's a thing. It's
Listen,
such a
Linda.
known thing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it really is. It's like calling somebody a Karen.
Where's my mouse cursor?
No, I'm staying here.
Yeah,
Linda
you
and
bet. Okay, you guys talk about something important.
Important?
Yeah, I can't Google right
Good.
now.
I'll tell my
Importante.
theory on the Menendez
Yeah, do
Brothers,
it.
which
Let's
I've been
hear it.
trying to do for like an hour now.
Let's hear your thoughts.
At first, I was thinking the abuse could push somebody to murder.
Yes.
So
Then I
do you condone it? Condone it?
No, what I'm saying, but then after hearing more about it, is they lived in the same house as their parents, even after. I know what a vine is. I'm not what's the old people call
We
it?
know
A
what
boomer.
Vine. We know what that is, Brie.
And if there's a boomer watching, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying.
It's pretty
No,
vague.
it was before Vines, okay? So simmer down. It was off a cartoon.
I only know one vine.
Okay.
Do you know what it is?
Olive Garden.
The grapevine.
No.
Bam!
Wow.
That's kicking it. There you go.
No.
What?
Road work ahead.
I sure hope so. No, I
sure
sure hope it does.
Drew Gooden with I sure hope it does was the only vine I knew.
Yeah. Okay.
I know my verdict. I have a verdict.
Okay. But then I was thinking they're too old. They're living with their parents. Yeah, they were probably conditioned, but at the same time, at some point you break free from that. You don't go murder your parents.
That's
So
right.
Yeah.
Don't,
If they were not.
okay, so your
Wait, did,
moral is don't murder your parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if they're not what's it called? The society.
like
Menace?
a menace?
Yeah. If they're not going to murder anyone else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
should they
dangerous.
go free? But they are capable of murder.
Well,
So
every
no,
living person is.
I don't think I am that.
I think that
I think
every human
was that
being
the question?
is capable
Beth,
of it.
you know me deep down.
Yes, but I think
I hide
everybody's
behind
capable.
you from a bee.
Okay.
I hide behind you from a dog. I said I fall.
But he barked.
In
But
a,
what if you fell on the person and killed him?
Yeah,
that would not be intentional.
Yeah, there's a different level
Yeah.
of murder, but hey, Kevin,
I could
did
not
they get therapy?
intentionally
Like, did
murder
they get
somebody.
what is that called? Like rehab? Did they get
Rehabilitation.
Yeah.
They've been in therapy since they've been in prison.
In
Okay,
1989.
so-
Yeah, they've got abnormal psychology,
yeah.
and they've been talking to a therapist ever since this happened.
Does it say what their therapist think?
A
Like, did
Facebook
their-
video. Okay, Bree.
What does
listen,
their
it was
therapist
before
think?
Facebook.
It's right there on the screen.
It was
Yeah.
before MySpace.
Liz, it appears to be a viral internet. No, it was on a cartoon.
I think you might be wrong. I like we get all quiet. Olivia.
The murderer the other day. Well, tell us more.
What?
Don't say that without context.
I
Come on,
mean,
Kate.
Our
yeah,
next
come
live
on.
stream will be about walking with the murderer.
All right,
Okay.
well, Blake 2 is getting pretty aggressive right now.
I want to know.
What's your theory?
Well, okay, I want to know first. What did the
Here's-
therapists have
yeah,
anything to say?
I have that info for you.
Okay.
Beverly Hills psychologists treated Erik Menendez in the late 1989s after the murders. Lyle joined some sessions too. Erik confessed to the murders during the time. Therapists taped the sessions illegally, by many accounts. He also said his mistress, Judian Smith, overheard the tapes and told the police.
Mistress?
So this therapist, who sounds like a loser at this point,
already
recorded them
illegally
and said, hey,
recorded
listen
it.
to this bozo I heard.
Yeah, and then his mistress means he's cheating on his spouse.
He portrayed Lyle as manipulative and dominant, calling him the mastermind behind it all.
Wow.
He described Erik as passive, emotionally broken, and more remorseful. He claimed that the brothers confessed without shame and talked about the murders as if they were solving a problem. He said that Erik was terrified of Lyle and that Lyle coached Erik on how to talk to the press and therapist about the abuse.
But then Lyle said that he was worried about Erik spilling the beans. And also previously you had said that Lyle had dated a girl who said that he was manipulative and controlling.
Yes.
So this also makes sense.
Okay, this is what I think. This would be my verdict. I would say that Erik.
That's crazy, KK.
I would say that I want to read that. I would say that Erik was free to go, and he would need to continue therapy.
Yeah,
I kind of agree because he was the younger one and not.
No, Erik was the older one.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Yeah.
I thought it was okay. The younger one. I think.
Lyle was manipulative and dominant.
Yeah.
No.
That's the younger one.
Erik was emotionally broken and remorseful.
He was
That
the one
guy-
who was abused the most. And
He
the older
showed
one.
remorse.
Yes.
And he was being coached, and like he was.
He didn't
was
show
not-
remorse, though, according
said-
to the therapist.
That's what he just said. He was more remorseful.
Really? I thought you said neither showed remorse.
So here is what the therapist told Lyle to say. He said, you tell them what Dad did and they'll understand. Just cry and tell them everything and they'll let you go.
Wow, that's what the therapist
What the
said?
therapist said to say to Lyle.
Therapists are not supposed to say that kind of.
No. Okay. I think that. So it's Erik.
Is the oldest and was abused the most.
Okay. So I think Lyle, the one that felt some remorse and was being misled.
No,
or
that's
being-
the one who was misleading. Lyle's the youngest one.
Okay, I don't
I-
care. So we're gonna go.
It doesn't matter because what I'm going to say next kind of crashes
okay.
everything.
Oh,
The therapist's credibility was called into question.
right.
Okay.
Obviously.
He had previously lost hospital privileges, so he'd had no rights as a therapist in the hospital.
Wow. Okay.
He's been accused of unethical behavior in other cases.
Okay.
He was accused of using his mistress as leverage to balance the context of the case.
Okay, so he's totally out. You can't even listen to anything he says.
He lost his license in the 2000s.
Whoa.
He faced disciplinary action, and because of that, his testimony was dismissed
Right.
as
you
part
can't
of the
think
case.
of anything that
He was
said.
not considered trustworthy.
Yeah.
So, what did he think? He said the brothers were guilty beyond question, either exaggerated or used strategically substantial evidence to make themselves sound better. Lyle manipulated Erik, and that his tapes were the key to stopping two dangerous acts. However, everyone else since then, since the trials when they were found guilty, said his testimony is garbage and he should not be listened to.
He just said Lyle manipulated Erik.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lyle's the youngest one, though.
Okay.
Here's a good question for you.
Oh, what's yours?
Did they both shoot the weapons?
No,
Or was
just
it just
Erik
one of them?
did.
It's just one of them.
Yeah.
So the other Menendez brother, was he just tagging
I wanna
along,
say
or
my
was he
verdict.
forced into that
Sorry.
situation?
Can I say my
Okay,
verdict?
Yeah, say
What's your
what you think
verdict?
happened. 'Cause
Okay.
this is the last chunk.
Okay, so the younger one, the bad one, right?
Mhm.
Lyle.
The one that actually committed it, and the one that was okay, whatever. The bad one, the worst of the two. Okay, the
yeah,
worst of the
Lyle.
two. Okay.
It's said that Lyle let it, but Erik shot the gun. That's what it said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The one that was like leading this whole thing on. I'll
Okay.
just put it that way. Okay.
Okay.
I think that he would, if he's going to be released, like it would have to be with stipulation.
Like what?
Like he would have to remain in
Counseling,
therapy,
yeah.
be like, monitored, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
like make sure that he's good. Like,
Yeah.
because if you're rehabilitated, like I do believe in people having second chances.
Yeah,
of
so,
me
like,
course.
so if he like could get better from that,
Yeah.
he did time.
Yeah.
And then, like, if he's watched and stuff, like, there would be stipulation to it. And then,
Yeah.
the other guy kind of the same way. I honestly think that they both kind of...
They were obviously put through a lot as
Exactly. That's
younger
why
men.
I'm saying, like, they did some time.
From 6 on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 3 on. Although the older Erik had more abuse, but sometimes that doesn't matter. It's just what you can handle more than your age.
Yeah, that is so true.
Yeah.
So we'll wrap it up with this. This is where it stands now.
Okay.
People look at them and see different things. Victims often see it as horrific abuse and they snapped.
Yeah.
Privileged killers is another way they're looked at, who wanted their daddy's millions.
I just don't foresee that because
neither.
they would have
I think
covered
they
it
just
up.
took advantage of it.
That seemed like an afterthought, like, hey, we were rich, we might as well do something, right?
I feel the same
Yeah.
way, yeah.
That's just what I think too.
Yeah.
Many people say this is warning signs of what happens when trauma goes untreated.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah.
It's a symbolism of our justice system that has failed and maybe got it wrong and others say they got it exactly right. However, because the story never ended, abuse survivors today are watching their case with new eyes. New evidence is still coming out, like the Menudo connection that keeps emerging.
Yeah.
TikTok documentaries, which I even hate saying, like TikTok documentary.
Right,
like, what even
right
is
away,
that?
I'm just like,
And younger
Eye roll.
generations are reopening the case emotionally, although not legally. Because they've changed, they're no longer teenagers with rage and shotguns. They've grown into quiet,
Right.
reflective, middle-aged men working in prison programs. They've often wrote letters to other people expressing their remorse. They've done everything they need to do in prison and are
or have they learned
model
what
citizens.
they need to do?
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Are they
Well, but
reformed? Is that
Nobody
the point
can
of
know
prison?
that part.
Yeah.
We don't know. Just like we can't expect the government to keep an eye on them because we know that that's not going to happen.
Well, no, but
Yeah.
they can take steps to make sure that they do have continued therapy. So if things were like in the past were to resurface, there at least would be like somebody there instead of no one at all.
Yeah. There's a lot of people, though, who get out of jail, are supposed to follow
Oh, yeah.
these rules. They don't.
Yeah.
They run. You can never find them.
Yeah.
And then you find out, oh, they were in prison for 20 years for murdering, like being a serial killer. And since then, they've murdered 26 people. And you're
Yeah.
like, well, shoot.
Like Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
Great
okay.
movie.
Great movie, yes.
Here's my opinion on the whole thing is that both parties, the parents and the kids, were totally in the wrong and they handled it the wrong
Definitely.
way.
Mm-hmm.
Did the parents deserve to die? I don't think the parents deserve to die because life is precious. I think they needed to, for their actions, have consequences for it. But with the parents, they got, I won't say they got what they deserved, but you never know when something like that's going to happen, and that happened to them where they were killed, and that's a scary thing. But I don't think they deserve to die. But I think that the consequences of their actions should have been brought into light in another way because they're kids. They were reaching out to like the tennis coach and all the other people, and like nobody did anything about it. And I think because of that happening, it just spiraled the whole situation out of control. Do I think that the Menendez brothers should be taken out of prison? I think they handled it wrong, and that they should also have consequences for their actions. And unfortunately, that's when someone's committed a murder and they're tried for it. That's like life in prison. I don't know what their sentence is. Like fully,
Usually
is it life in prison?
Right now it's life in prison.
Yeah.
They've served 22 years, I said.
36.
36.
And I mean, the law is set in place for a reason. For if someone murders somebody, they're going to be life in prison. So I don't think that they should be released. And to kind of what you were saying too, because if they could just disappear if they got released, and then the next thing you know, there's a serial killer. You never know. Yeah. That's the thing, is that you never know. But that's just my opinion.
36 years is a very long time. And you think about people who are murder now, and they get like 20 years, 10 years parole. It's like, did they just murder at the wrong time?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's life in prison for killing parents who maybe was not justified, but was justified. Compared to people now who is just like
not everything
rando
is
killings.
black and white, right?
Yeah.
There's nuances to everything.
Yeah. And they're like, 20 years with 10 years parole. And you're like, Because they're going to go out, if they can kill anyone, they're going to go out and kill anyone again.
Because that in itself is even more trauma on top of their already traumatized life. That's just adding fuel to the fire, in my opinion.
Yeah. So I'm
But
glad
if they
I was
also
not on the
didn't know
jury.
where to go, like
If you've told people
Right.
if you
and
were
they
like
didn't
a trap,
listen to
if
you,
you're trapped,
yeah.
one of them was dominant and one of them wasn't. Like the dominant is gonna want to break free. The other one would just hide in a corner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The trauma with all that would make it difficult, but like with their age, you would think that like, okay, I'm older, I could just get out of that situation, but
we
it's
don't
hard to
know
tell.
why they were still
Right.
there, and that to
Right.
me is like, what?
Yeah, that's the hard part. Were they there because they've been controlled for so long and their parents were holding money over them?
Well, that
Or
could be.
were they still there because that maybe wasn't as bad as what they
Yeah,
said?
so it could go.
And they were like, well, if we kill them, we get all their money.
Yeah.
And they just weren't really smart
why
enough to make it.
I should not be on this jury.
Me too. I was like, that's what I was saying.
And
I
that's
couldn't.
why we're not into the jury.
My jury duty was super easy.
Oh yeah. Can you talk about it?
Easy guilty.
Did
So
they put you on there?
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
she
on
was.
jury.
Yeah. I think I got like $36.
Boom.
Woo!
Rolling
Bam.
in the money.
But frankly, though, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so
That's a bottle of tequila.
Right? Half of
it's actually,
one.
it's not.
That's
It's
a,
half of
half.
one.
Wait, it's 40
Wait, that's
bucks.
Unless you get the cheap stuff.
That's
that's
half.
an order of Taco Bell on a
Well,
Saturday
I mean,
night.
Should we go to Taco Bell? Come on, everybody, we're going to Taco
We're
Bell.
going to Taco Bell.
That's a lot of Taco Bell.
All right. So where are they now?
Maybe not anymore.
Not
They're
anymore.
so expensive.
Well, in this
That's
now.
what I'm saying, an order of Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Not
What?
where are they now, but how and why. While Lyle and Erik Menendez are still behind bars because the court said they were murderers because a judge and jury didn't believe their tears, or maybe they didn't want to. But why are they still here in our headlines, in our content, in our conversations? Because they've become a mirror of our discomfort with justice, with abuse, with power, with the ugly idea that someone can be a victim and a killer all in one breath. They were raised in luxuries but slept in fear. They were groomed in success but trained in to keep secrets. And when those secrets were poured out into a red carpet, the world looked at it and said, why was it? Was it greed? Was it survival? That question still haunts us. Because why are they here and where are they now? It's all about a prison cell. It's about us. It's about justice system that may not get it correct, and how trauma still holds us one by one, whether we want it to or not. So yeah, they're still here, not just in San Diego behind prison walls, but in every courtroom, every news cycle, every family who's ever whispered anything about trauma, and that should have stayed secret. But why and where are they now? Because the story's not over, not even close.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's where we'll end it. Thank you everyone for joining us on this live stream. We appreciate you all. This is Retro Renaissance with Blake 1 as Beth, Blake 2 as Shasta, Blake 3 as Donald, and I'm Kevin. Thank you, Ren Fam. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Bye, y'all.
Bye.